Hello programmer, in this video we will use a MNIST handwriting digit dataset. It's like a very famous type of dataset. So we will first build a first project on the deep learning that will be a MNIST handwriting recognition dataset. Okay. So basically we will use deep learning library, that is PyTorch, and also with the help of ANN, artificial neural network. So step by step I will shift to CNN, then RNN. So every problem will be like this. So today I will explain you each and every basic concept from basic to advanced, how MNIST, and each and every points I will explain how the dataset are building and how this we have to build like a model, custom model, and then after we will use the method of training, and then after that we will evaluate that model. So this will be the part. Okay. So basically I will start from the MNIST dataset. Like before that you have to be basic knowledge of torch vision. So basically torch vision is like, it's similar to the, it is not a PyTorch library, but it is external library whenever you will install any environment. So first of all you have to install PyTorch, then after that you have to install torch vision also. So basically it's not come hand to hand with the PyTorch library. So basically what torch vision is, torch vision is basically if you want to if you have, there will be many type of data set like MNIST data set, CFAR10 data set. They are some basic data set. It is already present in the torch vision. Okay. So basically torch vision is a library for a computer vision that goes hand to hand with the PyTorch. Okay. So while we are using torch vision, suppose if you want to transform an image or video, then you have to use torch vision library. Okay. So this was the basic concept of the torch vision, and now I will just start with my coding purpose. So I will write here MNIST. It's like heading for us. MNIST. We will use ANN model. Okay. So first for this, and then second video will become that we will use MNIST with the help of, means with the model of CNN. Okay. So now you will just compare how this accuracy is more in CNN as compared to the ANN. But everything you have to use ANN first, because this is the basic thing you have to be learned about ANN. So basically ANN is like artificial neural network, and in CNN we are using ANN as a hidden layer. Okay. So that's thing I will explain you each and everything step by step. So first step, we will, what we will do, we will use, if we will import the necessary library we are going to use in this MNIST data set. Okay. So there are basically each and every library I will explain you what the use of that library. So now we will start the coding. So here I will just make the importing the data set. That's it. Import basic library we are going to use. Okay. So this is the basic library we will use. So now we will start with the importing of different library. Okay. So first of all, import torch. Yeah, torch is basically the PyTorch main library where we will perform each, like there will be torch.nn like neural network and loss function optimizer, each and everything it is present in the torch. It's like a main library of PyTorch. Okay. Then after we will just import what, import torch dot nn as, and then we are just using nn, we are, means we are just from torch we are just taking neural network, all the neural network like layer, different type of layer in the, whenever we will build a fully connected layer or a loss function or a optimizer, it will present in the nn library. Okay. Now third thing what we will import optimizer. Okay. So torch dot optim as optim, it's basically we will use any atom optimizer or SGD optimizer. Okay. So we can use we have to import that optimizer from import torch.optim as a optim. And also one more library we will import, that is import torch dot utils dot data import data loader. So basically what data loader is, basically whenever whenever you want to transform that each and every image, and what you have to do, you have to divide in the batches, then you have to use data loader, because whenever before shifting to the, whenever we will use data loader, then I will explain you at that time more clearly. So it's basically if you want to more iterable both the X feature and the label, basically the X feature is basically what, our images that will be converted into tensor. Okay. And the what is label, label is the prediction of that, what the model is going to predict, or means it's a digit 1 or digit 9. Basically it's digit from 0 to 9. Okay, now we will use torch vision library. So what torch vision library, that we are using MNIST dataset. So MNIST dataset already it is present in the torch vision. Okay, so what you will do is write import torch vision, see, torch vision dot datasets, as we are just writing as a dataset. That's it. Okay, now the again one, so we have just imported the dataset, means whenever we will perform the downloading our MNIST dataset from the torch vision library, then you have to use this dataset as it is. Okay, then that will be next step. So again what we will import, when and what you have to convert each an image to a tensor. Okay, for that if you want to transform many images to a various type of transform, like it may be of tensor, it may be of resizing all image, and this all thing, then you have to use torch vision. Inside the torch vision there is a library that is transform. Okay, so you just import that one. Import torch vision, we are going to import torch vision dot transform as transform we are writing. So now basically, and one more library we are just importing, that is matplotlib. So we want to see our dataset, how the dataset it is looking, visualize our dataset. For that we will use matplotlib. Okay, import matplotlib dot pyplot splt. So already there. So this will be the basic library we are going to use in this MNIST dataset, or MNIST using PyTorch whenever you are using a ANN model. That's it. Okay, then run this one. Torch the import for dataset. Yeah, you have to just write from. That's it. From torch you can't import to. That was the silly mistake. Again run. Hope it will be run. So this was the basic library we are going to use. Now the next step is the our downloading our dataset, MNIST dataset. That will be of training dataset and testing dataset. Okay. So in training there will be like 60,000 total images, and in testing there will be like 10,000 total images. Okay. Now we will just make a heading that we are just downloading our dataset. Download MNIST train and weld and testing dataset. Okay, so I will show you how to download each and everything. So now what we will do, we will just make a one variable train set. Basically it is like whenever all the training data set it will just consist. So what you will write, so you have already, I have explained you about the data set. Inside this data set torch vision there will be like many data sets. Okay, already there will be a many there, any data set you can use. Okay, for this video we will use MNIST. Okay, there is CIFAR 10, there is fashion MNIST, there are many type of data set. They already torch vision they are just storing. Okay, so for today we will use only MNIST data set. That's it. Okay, so then inside that you have to pass the four type of parameter, that will be root, and see this is the root, transform, and what they will like download, and also there is a train. Okay, so I will explain you, don't worry about this. So root is basically you where you want to just download your data set. That's it, provide that directory. Okay, so now for now I'm just, you can just use anywhere. For now I'm just leaving it as a blank. So this is the root, means part of the data where you want to download this. And the next step it is what, train. Train basically you want to say to the PyTorch that we want to train this data set or not, then you can just say train equal to true. That's it. Okay, and then third step is like transform. Okay, how you want to transform each and every image. Okay, so transform is basically we want to transform that to tensor. That's it. Okay, so you have to just, you have already imported this library transform to tensor. That's it. Okay, so this is the basic we have done. So similar you have to use, and also you can provide one more, that is download equal to root. That's it, down equal to 2. That's it. Okay, Similar, you can just provide the same as it is, you can just copy, and the same as it is you can just download for the test. That's it. Okay, just change this variable name. That's it. Test. And also because you are downloading for validation, you don't want to train this data set, then here what you will write, train equal to false. That's it. And you don't have to make any changes, because you, and this step transform to tensor means you are just transforming each and every image that is to tensor. That's it. Okay, now run. That's it. So basically now here the downloading will be start. Okay, see. So basically my already I have just downloaded. Now we will see the shape of text training data set. Okay, the train set and test set. Okay, so for what, and also we will see the number of class, how many class there is, it is in train set and test set. So you just write number of class or labels, just write print number of class, and what you will write, just write, already I have just used train set, they already is there, then just write train set dot classes. That's it. Train set dot classes, it will show you how many number of class it is there. Okay, that's it. See, there are total 10 number of class, because 0 to 9 the digit we will use to recognize, like 0 and 1 2, they already they are just labeled 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and up to 9. Okay, now we want to see the shape of this train set and test set. Okay, for that what you will write, shape of train set and test set. That's it. Then just you write print train set dot data dot shape. That's it. Okay, similar you can write for the test. That's it. You can just specify this is like train set shape. I will go each and every step so that it will be more clear. The first thing you have, first project you will just understand, then it will be like easy for you whenever you will do any type of data set. The process in each and everything is same, how the model is building, how that we have to do training, unless you have to just perform some pre-processing part. That is the different for various type of data sets. Okay, here what you write, test set save. That's it. And now run, we will see there is a 60,000 total images in the training sample. Okay, and there is a 10,000 in the testing, and each image is 28 cross 28. Okay, and it is basically a number of channel is one, basically it is a black and white image. Okay, it is not a colorful image. So now next step what we will use data loader. Okay, so data loader already I have explained the function. Okay, so they are to prepare the data loading for training and testing data set. Okay, that's it. Okay, so basically data set and load them to a data loader. That's it. What we are just going, we already defined the train set and we already defined the test set, and we will just load into data loader, so that each sample will divide into number of batches we will provide. So it they will take a parameter like train set, the second parameter they will take a number of batches you want to divide that data set, and the third parameter is like optional, that is shuffle, if you want to shuffle your training set or testing set. Okay, so again what, so now we will do this data loader, just right here, data loader. That's it. Then after that what we will write, we have to write train loader. Okay, inside there we have imported the data loader. Okay, just already I've explained you, it takes the three parameter. Okay, the first parameter is like train set, which data set you want to just import into data loader. That's it. Okay, so already we have just have the train set that we have just download from the Taos Vision, and you have to provide the second parameter, that is batch size. Okay, batch size is basically we will take a as 64, because it's enough. It's depend upon the how your computational power is, your laptop. So from my view, you can just take like 64 or 32. That's it. It is like good type of batches. You are just dividing each images into batches. Okay, if suppose what I will explain you about the batch size also. Batch size is basically that total number of student there is a 100 in your class. So if you want to divide in the batches, you have total, if you define that batch size equal to 10, then first 10 student will goes to the first batch, then next student will go to next batch. Okay, then total it will be like 10 batches. So whenever the model will perform the 10 iteration, then that will be the one epoch will be completed. Okay, that thing we will see in the training part. And also we will provide a shuffle equal to 2. That's it. If you we want to shuffle this data, you don't want like a, whenever you are just in giving this without shuffling the data set to a model, it will just learn the first, suppose you have 60,000, the first 10 or 8,000 is basically all zeros digit, then next 8,000 is like all one digit. So you want to shuffle that data set because you don't want to learn any type of because they will just learn, this model will learn any false type of figure out, and there will be a problem like the model will be overfitting means, because the model will perform much better on the training sample, and in test whenever you will just validate that type of, then it will just not give you a good accuracy. Okay, that the case will be of overfitting of that. So this was the basic, and also I have the same, you have to do data loader for the testing part. That's it. What you write, test loader, inside that you have to pass test set. And here you are not training a data set, so you can just by default it may be true or false, but here you can just pass is false because you don't want to train this data set. Okay, the main thing is to, in this training data set, the model it is learning. Okay, and in this we are just validating this model, how our model is performing. Now I just run this one. So we have import we have done this data loader part also. Now we will see the shape of that every batches how it is running. So we will use like, only we will see for the first batches, that is enough, because for every batches the shape and size of that image will be same, and per batches, just I will show you. So basically for the shape we can just write for loop, that's it. For loop image labels, so basically we are just looping through a train loader, and we want only for the one particular batch, that's it, because that will be similar for the every batches. Like for image in labels, that you are just saying the image shape and and their label shape in the first batch, that's it. Okay, so for that what it is returning 64 128 plus 28, basically what they are saying, we have total 64 batches because you have provided here 64, and this is the second is like number of channel. So it is like grayscale image, then its channel is 1, and its height and width 28 cross 28, basically a height and width, that's it. Okay, and this is the total. If there you will have total number of batches like 64, then there will be labels will then directly it will be like 64. Okay, so it will be like similar for each and every batches, where you have just divided into, you have just divided each batches, each image should be have 64 per batch, that's it. Okay, now we will see how our data set how it is looking. So, okay, so for that data visualizing part we will do now. Okay, so here what you will write, so we will use like also you can use the iter also, we have used the for loop I have said, and you can write, I think it is the python concept. Okay, like here what you will write, data I iter equal to iter, and that's it, you have to provide the train loader. So basically what it is just holding it iterated what it is doing, it is just like an object holding all the iteration. Whenever you will call next, then it will just display you as per. Okay, so basically it was, and here you can just see the similar kind of shape in here also. Okay, so what you will write, images comma labels, in what you want to cite, right? The next you will see the data iter, the data iter next, it is same as it is of the for loop, but in that you are not saying to that python that like it is not holding the memory. Okay, so here if whenever you are looping the, whenever you are using the for loop, every time whenever you will use the for loop, suppose if you are not specifying the break, then each and every image will be loaded in the memory, that's it. Okay, like for memory management you can use iter, and whenever you want to see one by one, you can just call next. Okay, it will work. It's depend upon you how you are choosing. Okay, and similar you can write here also the same thing, that it will display like image shape. I will just copy this, that's it. So this was like basic concept. So you can just see it's already similar to that. Okay, now if you want to see the how our data set it is looking, so for that what you will use matplotlib. Okay, matplotlib. So what you will write here, like figure. I think everyone know about matplotlib. If they are just doing deep learning, so they should know about the matplotlib. So what here you are just writing, you are just initializing, that's it, figure. And then after that what you are, how many numbers of image you want. Okay, number of image you want. I want for now I can just use like 20, we can just take for the same purpose, that's it. And you want to see here we have total 64 image and there are 64 labels. Okay, so only if you want to see only the top 20 image, that's it. Okay, then what you will write, for loop index in range, and here what you will write, from you will start from 1, I think they are the 16 you need to explain. And then after what you will write, and you will do the subplot. I think you know about the subplot in the matplotlib. Basically it's like it will just like it take the parameter like the height and width, like its number of rows and number of columns. Here you can just write. Okay, so for now what we will take, like we can take 5 rows and 5 columns, that's it. Okay, like 5 rows and 5 columns. Okay, and index, and then after we will pass that index, that's it. Okay, so it will just plot for various plotting surface, it will just do. Okay, so now what you will write, then after that you have to write plt.imc, that's it. And you don't have to show the axis because you are just, you want to see that image, that's it. Then you can just set this axis as off. Okay, that's it. Okay, now you are writing plot imc. Okay, inside that what the parameter will pass, which image we want to see. So already we have just initialized here this images. Okay, you just read images, and then after that it will just take index 1 2 3 4 up to 20, it will just take total number of images. Okay, and you are just converting each images, they already they have converted into tensor. For converting back to a numpy you can just use dot numpy, that's it. Okay, and you will use one more because you know in matplotlib you are just drawing in xy plane, but image is like 28 cross 28 cross 1. Okay, its height and width and number of channel is 1, you want to remove one, that's it. Because if you will use 3D plotting in this number, it will just show you an error. Okay, so for that removing the one dimension, that because it is like grayscale image, we know about this, that's it. Okay, so for that what you will write is skews. Okay, I'll explain you about skews. So basically what skew is that whenever it like axis is equal to 1, so it will just remove that axis. Okay, whenever they will find the axis equal to 1, for that it will just remove that using skews. Then image will be like 28 cross 28. Okay, then you can just see. Okay, and then also you can just provide the color map, that's it. What you will like, for now we are just using grayscale. Okay, now you will just see. So see how our data set it is looking, 8393130. So this is our data set, how our data set will look. Okay, now the next step will be like our building our model. We will build our model with the help of ANN. We will use ANN. Okay, so you will just see the most interesting part already has been done. Model. Okay, so what you write, just you will write class and which model we want to build. You can give any name, and for now we are just using ANN, that's it. Okay, and you want to inherit from the NN modules. Okay, NN dot modules, you want to inherit from NN dot modules, because that NN dot module will all the layers like NN dot layer, they already they have just initialized NN dot layer, and they are like ReLU function, activation function, fully connected layer, and this all thing you have to just take. Okay, so we are just inheriting from the NN dot module, that's it. Okay, then after that you will write the first method, you have to write like init method, that's it. And inside that you can just pass the cell, that's it. So for now we will just use it here only because we are just like it is for a learning purpose. So every like fully connected layer, number of hidden layer, we can just keep inside this. Okay, then after that you will use a super keyword. I think it's, you know about the super keyword. Super keyword is basically you want everything like in parents class, like you are just inheriting from NN dot module, then you will use super keyword. So it's like a, it will make a virtual object of that NN dot module. That's it. Okay. So what you will write here, write ANN, then after that self, that's it. And then after that you have to just write all the init method you have to take. You have to just create here with the help of super. Okay, that super function will just call all the method of init in that and a dot module. This was the basic concept. The main objective of our today is to how our to build our module. That's it. Okay. So basically, what the first thing we will use, fully connected layer, the self, that this is the like fully connected layer. What is fully connected layer? Basically, one layer is connected to the other layer. Each and every neuron is connected to the and each and every neurons of that other layer. Okay. So that's why we are just calling it as a fully connected layer. So basically, we will use here what you will write self dot fully connected layer. We are just building a first fully connected layer. Then you will write nn dot linear, and inside that it will take a two parameter. The first, it will take a parameter that is the input feature, number of input feature, how many feature you want to take. Okay. So is the number of input feature indirectly will be like in input layer how many neurons you want to take. So indirectly it will like 28 cross 28 because our image size is 28 cross 28. Then it will just represent in the pixel form, and each pixel will pass to a each and every neurons in that input layer. That's it. Okay. So here what you will pass, you will just pass the 828 cross 28, and the second parameter what it will take, it will take the number of hidden in the first hidden layer. How many hidden neurons will be there in the first hidden layer? For that you can just pass for now 256. That's it. Okay. It's depend upon how our model it is. Okay. It's depend upon our data set. So this is our, we have just already built our first fully connected layer, means the input layer it is connected to a first fully connected layer. Okay, that is our FC1. Again what you will write FC2. For that what you will write nn dot linear, and what you will pass, this is the, then after that the first hidden layer will be connected to the second hidden layer. For the second hidden layer, the first hidden layer will be the input, then you can just write 256, and the third I will just pass 128. Okay. Again we will just build again one layer, we will just build few fully connected layer 3. Okay. Inside this nn dot linear, it will like similar that what I explained you previous. This for this it will be input feature like second hidden layer. Okay. And you are just passing 64 as a third hidden layer, and this will be like our output layer. You can just say, okay, that is for fully connected fourth layer. You can just write nn dot linear, and here what you will write 64, and total number of class already I have said you 0 to 9 means total number of neurons will be like 10. Okay. The output layer will be like number of class. If you have number of class only 2, then you will just write only 2 neurons in there. Okay. Here 2, but we have total 10 number of class here, then you can just write 10. So we already just built, and we have already just initialized the fully connected layer. That's it. We have just initialized the number of neurons we are going to use. Okay. And also one thing we will use self dot prelude. This is the activation function we will use in the hidden layer. Okay. So this was the basic about how we have just built our model. We have just initialized our fully connected layer. That's it. Now we will do forward propagation. Okay. Now this is the main thing where we will just build our module. Then what you will write forward, and inside that it will take the first thing, that is the cell, and the second, this is like image, the image you want to pass. Suppose the first image it is passing to this neurons. Okay. So this how it will just go, it will just go through the first fully connected layer. Okay. Like cell, what you will write like output equal to self dot first fully connected layer, and inside that it will take this image. Okay. It will just give you first output anything, and then after that again you can use output, it will just override the previous one. That's it. Okay. Then after fully connected layer, what you are using, you are using a ReLU activation function. You want to just deactivate that neuron, that is no more information in that, like it is like a negative value. Okay. For that you are using ReLU. Then just pass this x. Similar you can write output that for the fully connected layer 2, pass this x, and similar you can just write self. Similar what you can write is self, and then after that what you write ReLU, and you can pass X. Again you will write, because we have total 4 fully connected layer. Okay, then you have to use X, then again output cell dot ReLU X, and this will be our last. Inside, after that we will not use any activation function in the Python. That why? Because after that we will use the softmax. Why we are not using any softmax here? Because the whenever you will use loss function like categorical cross entropy by default in the Python, they will just first they will what they will use the activation function. They are predefined, that is a softmax activation function. Every what the number it is in the output layer, they will just convert into probability, and which neurons will be the highest probability, that will be our output. Okay, that already come in hand with the loss function, so you don't have to, again you have to write here the softmax. Okay, so what you will write, FC4, that's it, and you can just return output, that's it. And before, see what, so what there will be also one more confusing. So yeah, it's depend upon the how the student or the programmer they are using. You can just resize here also the images, or you can just resize in the training part. So it's better to resize here. Why? Because you don't want to again to resize there, because what image will take in the ANN, it will like batches and their total number of input size of that. Okay, so you have to that resize it. Okay, so it's what you will write, you can just write out. Okay, you can just write what X dot view basically in Python we are using for resizing, and you can just pass -1 and 28 cross 28, that's it. Okay, why you are just passing, we are just passing, we are just making. So this will be propagated to the first fully connected layer. You can't pass any 3D matrix to a like a in fully connected layer, because they are just flattened, that's it. Okay, they take only one dimension, that's it. Okay, so here what you have done, 28 cross 28 basically is what, it's the input size of that image. It will like input number of neurons in the input layer already we have just built, then you have to be number of pixel in that. Okay, and this is -1 is basically the batches, how many batches we want to take. Okay, so by what you have said, -1 you have passed, so I think it is like, you know about this, again I will explain you. -1 means you have passed X dot view. -1 means you are just saying to a Python that I have 228 plus 28 total number of columns in that. Okay, but you can figure out how many rows you want to take. Okay, so that's what you are just doing. Then Python will, by default they will just calculate how many rows we want to take. So it's like a batch size. You can also pass here 64, that's it. But you are just saying to a Python to figure out it. Okay, so this is how you are just resizing your image to from 2D to 1D, that's it. Okay, so you have built your model, that's it. Then you can just run. Then after that what you will just make an, you want to make an object of this AI. Okay, what you will write here, model equal to ANN, that's it. So after that what you have to just specify the loss and their optimizer also. Okay, for that we have to use loss function, what we want here. Okay, because we have not defined here softmax, then we have to use cross entropy loss. Okay, by default cross entropy loss will take a activation function first as a softmax. Okay, so you don't have to define again and again. What you write, loss function, and it is present in nn.library cross entropy, and then after that what you write, optimizer. Which optimizer you want to use, we will use SGD optimizer. Then what you will write, okay, optim.scd, inside that you have to pass the parameter model.parameter. Okay, parameter, it's basically that the trainable parameter you want to train, that's it. It's the number of trainable parameter in the training sample. And the next thing is learning rate. So how much step for every, how much step it will take to learn the model, that's it, how you can just take care. And here you can pass 0.001, 0.001 or 0.01, it's depend upon you, means it depend upon how your model you want the model to learn, that's it. Okay, you can't pass too much small learning rate, or you can't pass too much high learning rate, it will just problem overshooting. Okay, and if whenever you pass learning rate too high, then there will be problem of overshooting, and because it will not reach to a local minima. And whenever you are passing a learning rate too much small, it will take a many times to reach the global minima. So So it will useless to find the too much small value or too much large value. You can just pass from 0.01 or 0.001. That's it. It's like a hyperparameter tuning. You have to check it after the training purpose how your model it is behaving. So now we will do the training part. Okay, the training part is our, I think we will our the last step, and then after that we will use matplotlib. Then we will see that how our accuracy of the training and the validation is going, and we will compare with the loss also, how our loss is minimizing and the validation loss is also minimizing. Okay, so here we will do the training part, training the model. So here the first step, what we will just take how much epochs we want. We will take like epochs we can take 10. It is like, yeah. Now we can just take epochs equal to 10, and then after that we can just initialize the list. Okay, list means whenever we will do matplotlib between their accuracy, between their loss, validation accuracy, validation loss, training accuracy, training loss. At the time for plotting purpose, we will just append each and every time whenever our epochs will complete, how much at every epoch our loss is decreasing, and every epoch how our accuracy is increasing. Okay, so we are just initializing the empty dictionary. That's it. And we can just name anything like training loss I am just giving, and then after that what I am giving, testing, testing loss. Then after that training accuracy, and similar I can do training loss, oh sorry, testing loss, testing accuracy. Okay, now we will loop through the all the epochs. So how we will loop? So we will take for I, for epoch we can write for epoch in range of what we have done epoch. That's it. So total number of epochs we have taken equal to 10. Now we want to loop at every epoch how our accuracy, how our loss is are changing. Okay, for that we have to the loop through all the epochs. Okay, we have taken epochs equal to 10, means that 10 times our model will do forward and backward propagation to complete the one epoch. Okay, like to complete the 10 epoch, the first forward propagation then backward propagation whenever our model is doing, then that is equal to one epoch. Okay, so similar for the 10 epochs, it means 10 times the model will go as forward propagation, and then after that, after completing the loss and this all thing, then the model do again, the model will do the back propagation. In the back propagation what we are doing, we are just updating the weights. That's it. Okay, so here what you will write, so you can here you want to initialize that whenever you want to see how our accuracy, how our validation percentage. So now you can just initialize now in the floating point. That's it, we are just initializing, nothing else. Okay, similar you can just write train accuracy, train. That's it, you can write this thing also. Okay, now what you will write, we are just doing the model, we are just saying to model to train, then thus you can write model is dot train. Okay, just write model dot train. You are just saying to your Python or any in that you are saying to Python, this is our training field. That's it. Okay, now you will loop through the whole data loader that already I have explained you the concept. You have to you have to loop through the batch in the batches, because you are just passing the data set in the batches. So the first 64 image will pass in the first batch, then after that it will just calculate the loss between them, then after that it will just go back propagate and update their weight. That will just update the weight for the 64 image, then again it will do similar, it will do for 64. So number of iteration it will do, then whenever the all iteration it will just complete, then at that time the one epoch will be complete. Okay, so here what you will pass labels in train loader. That's it. Then after that what you are saying that image, we already we have resize it. If you are not resizing in the here, I will show you. Whenever you are not resizing this image, then you can resize there. Here you can just write image dot view -1 to 28 cross 28. Okay, it's depend upon you where you want to resize the image. Okay, now you want to pass the image, the first, like it will take in the batches from the, then now you want to pass that image in the model, that forward propagation, this method you have created in the ANN class. Okay, then you have to pass here in the forward, that's it. Okay, what you will pass here, you will pass the images. Okay, now it will give you, it will you what you have taken, the output. FC4 means fully connected layer has the total number of neurons, it has 4 neurons. Okay, then what it will just write here, it will give you the values of 10, any random value, means after calculating this whole thing, any 10 value it will display, that's it. Okay, so you have taken 64 images, then for 64 image there will be a you can, for each image there will be a 10 neurons. Okay, in output layer, then one image, whenever suppose you are passing a 5-digit image, because you here you are using MNIST classification, means 0 to 9, then you are passing a 5-digit image, okay, to a model. At that time the model, it at the output total number of neurons you have taken a 10. Okay, so in the 10 different value will be appear, that neurons which has highest number of value, that we are just considering as the that will be our output. Okay, so here what you will write, now the output will give you any, now you can just write here, wait, I can show you, no problem, you can just write, see how output it looks, then it will be only for the particular batches, that's it. That's why we are applying for break. If you are not applying a break, then it will just look for whole the 10 box. Okay, you want to see the first batch and first epoch, that's it. Okay, oops, error. Let me see, mat1 mat2. Okay, it's maybe the recipe. Yeah, you have to pass out here, you have to pass here out, you don't have to pass next, because here you are not reshaping. Okay, you have to reshape here, because in the preview you are directly you are passing the image, you without reshaping. Okay, so that will just give you an error. So now you can just run, it will just, it will, I hope it will run. Again it has been error, then again we have to show, oops, all each and everything I passed. So that was the silly mistake. I have to just do each and everything. How similar for this, because I have just plain, it is just overwriting each and every step. Okay, the first fully connected layer, what the output will be there, then it will just input the second fully connected layer, that's so and so and so on. Okay, so this is, I think now it will not give us a error. Okay, so basically what here, out equal to, you are just reshaping that image. Okay, in 28 cross 28, because that input number of neurons you want 28 cross 28, and the second hidden layer you are, for the first hidden layer you are passing 256, then the fully first FC1 is like fully connected layer between the input layer and the first hidden layer. Okay, they each and every neurons are connected with each other, that's why we are calling as a first fully connected layer. Okay, then after that what the output will be, it will just go to the input to that fully connected layer, and similar it will, what the output will be, then go to the second fully connected layer, and so on, so on, so on. So basically you are just overwriting out, that's it. Okay, so you are just returning out. So now I think it will just work. Now the main idea is to focus on these batches, that what I was say I want to show you. So this, for the first image, you have total 64 image in that first batches. Okay, so it is displaying for the 64 total number of image. Okay, so here what it is, there is a value, they are the values of, because in the output neuron, in the output layer you have 10 total number of neurons. Okay, so this will give any 10 number of values they have given, and which neurons has the highest value, we are saying that is our output. Okay, so that is basically our model is predicting. Then again we are just applying a loss function, then we are just calculating the loss between them. Okay, so no need to write this again, this was to, I have to show how we are just looking. Before our loss, we have to just write first of all what, optimizer. Okay, optimizer dot zero grad, I will say you what it is doing. Basically it is setting the gradient to 0 whenever each and every, each and every batch sample, they are just calculating the gradient, and they are just resetting for a different iteration. Okay, so for the first iteration they are just calculating gradient, and they are just performing, they are updating their weights. Okay, so you are, it's like a, you are just says to 0, it's basically you are just setting the gradient to 0. Okay, That's it. Okay, so now you will just calculate the loss. Okay, the loss, now you will calculate. You already have, we have initialized with the loss function, and inside that what you will pass the output, what you have get in the output, and also and what you will pass the label. But you will say that in output you have just taking the 10 total number of neurons. Yeah, total number of neurons it is 10, but the labels it is basically it is 1 now. So suppose you are passing, so for the first image has been given that suppose 5 digit number you are passing as a first digit. Okay, for the first time, first image, the 5 digit it is passing. Okay, so now what, you are just calculating the loss, because in the output you have total 10 number of neurons and 10 different value it is coming. So the model, what you will do, the neurons which has highest value you will take as a model. The model has been predicted here, which has highest value 0 1 2 3, I think. Suppose let me say, I think this is the highest value. Okay, 0.068, suppose this is the highest, yeah, this is the highest value, 0.070. So 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so by here the model is predicting the actual level is, the model is predicting 4 and actual level it is 5. Then they will just calculate the loss between them. Okay, so with the help of cross entropy, what they are doing, they are using the one hot encoding vector. The cross entropy, this all series I will update in the deep learning course, don't worry about that. So here only I will give you about brief, because here only what the loss, you are using a cross entropy loss. The cross entropy loss, what it will just first use the software activation function, and it will just figure out which has the highest, it will just convert each and everything to the probability, and which has highest probability it will, the our model will just give this digit is the output. Okay, so whenever you will calculate the loss between them, so loss is basically here will be 5 or 4, the label of that particular class will be. So the you know about the label. So suppose the label is function of cross entropy is summation of prediction log of y, mean actual y into log of y hat, means y is basically a, I will write here, I mean for only one you can just, this is a y prediction, you can just say y prediction, and into log, this is y actual, sorry, and this is the log of y prediction. Okay, so this is how our loss is calculating in the logarithm form. Okay, then we are just minimizing it, that's what we are doing. Okay, so here just, and each and every number is converting into one hot encoding, means for the, if the 5 digit number is the input, then rest will be 0, only the 5 position will be as a 1. That is what one hot encoding it is doing. It only deal with the that particular number, they are just focusing, and they are just what it has model has been predicted as a this, suppose this as a highest value. Okay, 0.6 suppose, and now but actual it was this one, for actual it was this one. Then what it will write, y, y actually is already in one hot encoding form, it will 1 into log of minus 0.70. Okay, this is how the loss is calculating, and rest it will be 0 0 0. The next thing what you will write, loss back propagation. What it will do, you are saying to the, like you are just calculating the gradient, that's it. Okay, in the back propagation you are just calculating the gradient, nothing else you are doing, calculating. Okay, now again what you will write, now you will write optimizer dot step. Optimizer dot step, basically what it will do, you want to update the here, sorry, it's capital I've written, I will explain you this also. Update all the bits, you can write update all the parameter or update all the bits. Okay, so basically what you are just calculating the gradient of that. After that you are just saying to calculate, and then what the gradient has been come, you are saying to update there all the parameter of that gradient. Okay, after calculating the gradient of that particular, so that our you want to just minimize the loss function, that what you are going to use. Okay, that's why you are using, you are saying to model to go and back propagate it after the loss calculation, and you are saying the model to calculate the gradient, and what step it is doing, it is updating the all the parameters. Okay, the trainable parameters. Okay, so this was basically the loss. Now what you will write, now we will see the about the prediction and the loss function, we will also calculate now this all thing. So what you will write here, prediction, you know about the prediction, how we are just doing. You can use torch max or you can use argmax, I will explain you, don't worry, you can use anything. depend upon you. You can use arguments also, like prediction dots dot arguments is basically, it is what it is returning. It is returning the index which has highest value. Suppose you have 5 digit number, total you have 5 number of in 5 value you are passing, and the fourth position it has highest value, then it will just return the index of that. Okay, that what arguments it is doing. Then what you will pass here, you will pass here output from output, this from 10 neurons you want. Okay, from highest, and then you will pass 1 means in column wise we are taking x is equal to 1 from column, x is equal to 0 for I think basic concept of numpy also. Okay, so in prediction you want here what it will just give you, which has highest value it will just give you as a output. Okay, prediction, that is on the model what it is predicting means the here it has been total number of neurons is 10 in the output layer. Okay, so which neuron which has highest value, you are saying that the model is saying that is our output. So okay, now we will compare with the actual, but it is really it was a output or not, that's why we can calculate the accuracy. Okay, so now what you will do, after output you will just you will calculate the training accuracy. Training accuracy will already I have this mentioned there, training accuracy, and it will every time you will just add up so that after adding, suppose you have, I will give you one example. Suppose total number of trainable parameters is 100. If the model and actual and model is predicting 80, then total accuracy of that will be 80%. 80 divided by 100, that's what we are just doing. So what you will write here, you will just write prediction what the model has been prediction about the labels. Suppose it has been predicted as equal to 4, but actually it was 5, then it will not be our count as a accuracy, training accuracy. Okay, you will use this condition. Okay, now you will write, you will just use the condition here, the actual. Okay, if the prediction equal to labels, then what you will write, then sum of that. Okay, and you can just take an item, you want only the number, you don't want the tensor of. Okay, that's why we are using. Okay, this is how our train accuracy is calculating. Okay, similar I will just whenever I will just print, and after that you here only I have just calculate the total number of correct parameter. Now after whenever we will print it, then we will calculate the accuracy percentage in form. Okay, now you will calculate the loss. Similar you can do for the loss. What you will write here, loss equal to loss dot item. Okay, basically it will just every time it will just give you a loss dot item different time for the particular batch. Okay, for this particular batch it will just give you, and after that calculating one epoch, then after you will take a total number of parameter and actual how much loss or how much accuracy it is there, that how we will just calculate. Okay, now you will do, now you have done for the particular batch, you want all for. So whenever you will plot this between training accuracy and training call, you only want that particular for the one epoch, that's it. Okay, after means what, after whole iteration has been done, how much loss and how much accuracy it is giving, that's the particular thing you want from that model. Okay, then what you will write here, so this was for the training accuracy. We have written training accuracy dot append. Basically, what we have done here, training accuracy dot append means we are just appending all the training accuracy. Means if you have total numbers, what I have written, training accuracy means total length of training data. Training set is total length of data set means 60,000 total number of values it is, and how much prediction equal to label means how much our model is predicting is correct, and actual it was correct. That how we are just determining the accuracy, that's it. Okay, similar you can go for the training loss. Okay, training loss will be like similar dot append. Here what you will pass here, you will pass the train loss, that's it. And what you will define, length of train. This time you will not define train set, you will define length of train loader. Okay, why I am defining the length of train loader, because by see whenever you are calculating the whenever you are using the SGT, so what they are just doing, whenever you are calculating the loss, by default what they are doing, they are just dividing their number of batches. By default here they are dividing by 64. Okay, the loss, then you don't have to define in train set, you have to define only with the train loader, like total approx 964 approx it will be like total number of iteration it will just complete for the particular one epoch. Okay, total number of this 968 times this loop will run for completing the one epoch. Okay, for the first epoch they already, if the loss will come something like 0.0 something, they already has been divided by 64 the bad set. Okay, that what you are just doing here. Now I will see, this was the whole concept of the training. Then similar you can write for the testing. In the validation you don't have to change the parameter, like you don't have to change the weights, that's it. Each and everything will be same. You can just say here model, again you have to write in a slice for this also. Test loss, you can just write this loss equal to 0.0, and for test accuracy you are writing 0.0, that's it. Okay, and now what you are writing, now what you will say, you are saying that this is the model dot eval. Okay, eval is basically that we are now evaluating our model, how our model is behaving without updating our weights. Okay, you can just copy and paste, you don't have to write each and everything again. I will just show you. You can just write, or otherwise I can just write, it will hardly, it will take, because in this you will not update the weights. Okay, you only want to see how our model is behaving, that's it. Okay, so what you will write, the first you want to say that torch no grad, means you don't want any gradient. Okay, you don't want any gradient value, that's it. Okay, now for now you will just loop through test loader that already we have defined images labels in test loader, that's it. Okay, then after that what you will pass similar, the same as it is you have to pass images, sorry, output already we have resized now, you don't have to resize again. Output what you will write here, models, inside model you have to pass that images, that's it. Okay, you are just passing image, and then after that you are calculating the loss, or you can just calculate the loss, that's it. Okay, this is how we are just doing. We will just calculate after this loss. Then what will loss already we know that loss function already we have defined, and we can just pass the output. And then after that what you will pass here, the second is labels, you know about the test labels. Okay, you don't want to calculate any weights, you don't want to calculate any gradient, because you don't want to update their weight, because you want your model to see how it is behaving on some type of data set. Okay, now what you can just do the similar kind of this all thing. Okay, I will just do, it's like same as I don't need to write each and everything, so big thing. Okay, just change what parameter, some parameter you can just change. Yeah, write train accuracy, you can write here test accuracy, and here also test loss, we have initialized it, test loss, and then it is suitable and signal you can write here testing accuracy. I think we have written the testing, yeah, testing loss and testing accuracy. Okay, and here we will write testing loss. And here we again you have to divide with the trace set. Now you don't have to divide with the trace set, test set, and here also you have to divide with the test loader. So this was the whole concept of this, and then after that what you will write, you will just print each and everything, that's it. Okay, now this is our final, you want to print each and every epoch, how our epoch it is as behaving, accuracy, training loss, validation accuracy, and validation or testing accuracy, testing loss. Okay, now what you will write, training accuracy, you are writing, you are giving a placeholder, then after you are writing uh, testing accuracy. Then again you are just giving placeholder, then after that you are writing training loss, and then again placeholder, then after that again you are writing testing loss, uh, testing loss, yeah. Now again what you write, dot format, and what value you will pass here, you will pass here basically the first epoch plus 1. Why you are passing, because plus 1 why you are passing. By default they will just start from 0. That epoch 0 is like meaningless, you can just pass epoch equal to 1. Okay, like epoch plus 1. Okay, now again for training accuracy, what here you will pass the value of train accuracy, that what I have calculated this train accuracy, train this train act. Okay, train accuracy. Now you will divide with the similar what we have done for the append. We have just append this for the visualizing, so that we can just see the graph, and here you can do similar that thing. Okay? That already I have explained you. Train accuracy, how total number of correct prediction by the model and total number of values inside that model. Okay, then what you write, train loader, that train set. Okay, and similar you can just write for this also. And then after that what we have written, testing accuracy. No? Then what you write, testing tray. We have write test act. I think test act we have just write test for this test. And what you will define, you will define with the length of test. Okay, similar you can do for the training training loss. Okay, train loss divided by length of train set. Now, so now loss, now you don't have to define with test, you have to define with the loader, that's it. Okay, train loader. And similar with the test loss divided by what you will write here, length of test loader. Okay, so this is how our model is building. Okay, this is how our train we have done the training part. It may, if the silly mistake will be there, then it may give us error, but we will figure out. Don't worry about that. Prediction is not defined. You have to write the correct spelling after the mistake. Prediction. Similar you can write for this. Copy, I think I will give you the that's word, no again word. I hope it will run now. Let's see. Oops, again it has an error. Again, sir. LABL. Again spelling mistake. So they are the silly mistake. Just run again. So they are the silly mistake. So the main concept was to see now it is correct display. Now it is running correct. So you can just see. So this is how our model is training, and we have also seen how we have just model is building like CNN class, how we are just using the data loader, data visualizing part. We have done each and every step, and the last step we will just do the training part. We will just take the plotting part. Okay, so this will hardly, it will take 2 minutes to train, that's it. So now we will just use the training stuff. Let just wait, I think we have to wait only 30 seconds, that's it. So after that what we have to do, we have to just plot that, that's it. So we will, in the plotting part we will see how our accuracy and how our loss are behaving, that's it. So you can just write the code. It is like plt dot plot. What you have to write here, you have to pass here the range. We are passing range of epochs. Okay, we are passing total number of epochs x, that is in x axis, that is a 10. Okay, then after that what you are passing here, training accuracy, what you have defined here, training accuracy. Okay, now you can just give a label, it is label, you can just give it is for training accuracy, train accuracy. Okay, similar you can just compare with the you can just compare with the testing accuracy. Okay, you can just write similar here, you can just write here testing accuracy, and you can just give us label equal to testing, that's it. Okay, test, you can just write test accuracy. Okay, now you will just see, you can just use plt.lesion, and after that plt.x-axis, you can just give in plt in that what you want to label the axis. Okay, you can just simply write it is the epochs, the axis is basically the epochs, and y-axis is the basically the y y label is basically the accuracy. Okay, training accuracy, training and testing accuracy, how they are just behaving, we will see. Okay, now you can just write plt.plot, that's it. It will give us the how, see this is how training, this is the training accuracy, how it is going, and this is our testing accuracy. Okay, so this is how we are just calculating train accuracy dot append this whole thing. And similar we can just do for the this is how our training at accuracy, they are just increasing. See, they are just increasing training accuracy. This is the orange one is basically for test accuracy, and this blue one is basically for train accuracy. Okay, how they are just increasing at each epoch. Okay, then you can just you can do similar for the losses also. Okay, you can directly do copy and paste, that's it. You don't have to type again and again. Here what you have to write, you have to write here test loss, that's it. Testing loss, and here what you will do, test loss, and similar you can here you have to give, sorry, and what I'm giving, or okay, you can just similar you can give here training accuracy, training loss. Okay, and similar you can just write here training loss, that's it. Okay, now you will just see about the training the similar way that we have seen how this they are just decreasing. Okay, see how they are just decreasing, it's like how they are just decreasing, and at every epoch the loss is decreasing. This is the main concept we have to just understand. So that was for the today video, because I have started from the basic, each and everything I have explained you about the MNIST, how we are just loading in library, how we are just downloading the shape size, the data, what the function of the data loaded, then data visualizing part. Okay, then after we have just built the ANN model, then after that we have just used the training model to train that model, then inside that only we have just used the validation like testing. Okay, to test our model, we are not updating any weights. Okay, then after that we are just plotting our with training accuracy and testing accuracy, and we are seeing that how both accuracy are increasing at every epoch, and how in this loss how the each and every epoch that test accuracy and training accuracy how they are just different. So that was for the today, so hope we will see in the next video. That's all, thank you.